Okay, guys, so now that we are kind of in this area right here, okay, so by the time you watch this video, you should have already completed the homework for April 7th, and now you're working on the draft, okay? So I'm going to show you guys how to use this tool, okay, the Analytical Response Planning Template, which is in Module 3 in Canvas. It's a really helpful tool to help you build that first draft. All right, so it starts with your introduction, okay? And remember, that is your summary. You already did that for homework on March 26th. So that should be all done, but you might have to kind of make some tweaks and make sure that you've got all of the information correct based on my feedback. Okay, and then down here, right at the bottom of the introduction, remember that thesis statement, right, that we learned about from the video on how to write a thesis statement and a body paragraph. Okay, so that's where you put your thesis statement. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the body. Okay, and so the body is going to be looking at all of the different pieces of what's what's going into your paper here. So the first body paragraph has to be about who is Charity writing to and how do you know? It's answering that specific question. Remember, analysis always has a focused question. It's asking. So this is a two-part focused question for you guys to fill out. And so you can see that this template has it has a claim template. Okay, Charity is writing to, you name the audience, because give a reason Charity wants to address this particular audience. So that's, you would put that in there, okay? And then I even have some connecting ideas to help you with this. So in the beginning of his essay, remember that's a signal phrase right here. In the beginning of his essay, Charity writes. So it's giving some context and a signal phrase, Charity writes. And then you're going to put in here a quotation from Charity's essay illustrating his intended audience. Okay, how do you know who he's talking to? Okay, and then you give a page number right here and a period. Okay, this example shows, okay, give your interpretation of the quote, your explanation. So talk directly about that quote. What does it show you about how he views his audience, why he's choosing that audience? And then later in his essay, Charity writes, use another quotation from another place. So later in his essay means you want to use something that he writes maybe at the bottom of page 1, or maybe on page 2, or maybe on page 3 of the essay. So you choose one that's a different one, but still illustrating Charity's intended audience. And then again, give another explanation of that particular example. And then finally, you have your connection back to your thesis sentence by reaching out to, and then name the audience again. Charity hopes to, and explain why Charity is giving a particular message and accomplishing a particular purpose by reaching out to this particular audience, which, okay, spoiler alert, we know is Americans. So we know by reaching out to Americans, what is he trying to do here? Okay, so then you can see that the rest of the template goes through, for this part, goes through all of the rest of the points that you're supposed to analyze. So here's the paragraph on materialism. Again, the template paragraph works the same way. It has all of the ideas that you need to fill in. Same thing on spiritualism. Okay. And then you complete the rest of the body paragraphs below by using, you can just cut and paste that, but then you just kind of make it more specific to balance, effort and difficulty, and becoming. So I'm giving you the first 2 paragraphs. I want you to keep using that kind of template idea on the rest of your analytical paragraphs up to paragraph 6. Okay, and then you're going to develop your response paragraph, okay? Okay, and those are the questions. Again, your response paragraph, you need a topic sentence. You need examples from, you can use examples from Charity and from your own life should be very specific, and it should include lots of explanations about why you think the idea you've picked is the most significant idea. Okay? And then your conclusion. In your conclusion, you're going to share your insight. And so I really want you guys to think of beyond simply Charity kind of saying why he wants to share his personal definition. It's more than just that. You can tell because he's making an argument. He's not just talking about, he's not just reflecting about, this is what I think is happiness. It's an argument of definition. There's a reason when we argue, we're trying to persuade someone to believe something that they haven't believed before. So why would we do that? Why would Charity want Americans to believe something new and different about happiness? What does Charity think it's going to mean for them and even for the country? You really want to look at the end, his conclusion, look at his own conclusion to kind of see what maybe he might be doing there. Okay, so, and I'm purposely not doing a template here because I really want to challenge you guys to write an insightful conclusion on your own. And don't just summarize everything that you've written here. A conclusion really doesn't wrap up or sum up for an essay. It may for a report, it may for other kinds of documents you're writing, but we're writing an analytical essay here, and so you really don't want to waste that space by repeating everything you just said. You want to explain why the ideas in the essay that you've covered matter, and that's really how you're developing your insight or sharing your insight with your audience. Okay, so for your works cited page, you're going to go to Everyone's an Author, go to chapter 27, model number 19 on page 557, and you're going to create your works cited entry using the following information. Okay, so it's pretty easy. We don't have an editor for the Saturday Review magazine. Oops, that should be in italics, so I'm going to italicize that. We don't really have an editor, so whatever information you don't have, you're just going to go ahead and skip. All right, so good luck on that. You'll get feedback from me once you complete this template. Now remember, completing this template is going to mean you have completed your first draft. Okay, and you're going to post this as a first draft. So before you post your first draft, you're going to delete all of the notes, right? So you're not going to have this note in there anymore. You're not going to have this note in here anymore. You're not going to have these notes in here anymore. You're just going to have your body paragraph. So you'll just delete all of this stuff as you're completing those paragraphs. Okay? So that will be draft number 1, and that will be due on, let's see, April 14th. So still plenty of time for that. All right. Hope that was helpful.